watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. A Hazleton playground was struck by vandals earlier this week. The pavement on the basketball court at James Street Playground was spray painted with derogatory comments over the weekend. City officials are saying that video surveillance cameras will be installed in the area to deter future criminal activity at the playground. Crews are also working to paint over the obscene images. Police in Schuylkill County took an armed suspect into custody for allegedly pointing a handgun at customers in a local deli. Shenandoah police were called to the La Paria coffee shop and deli at 201 East Center Street Monday for a report of a man with a gun. Witnesses said that 41-year-old John Charles entered the business and aimed the gun at customers while they were playing pool. Charles was charged with aggravated assault, simple assault, persons not to possess firearms, and recklessly endangering another person. He posted $50,000 bail and was released from custody on Tuesday. Students and faculty that attend schools within the Allentown Diocese will be required to wear a mask. The diocesan superintendent cited that the decision was based on the continued spread of the Delta variant. Marian Catholic and St. Jerome Regional School are part of the Diocese of Allentown and are also in a county with high levels of community transmission. The diocese plans to monitor the situation by reviewing the number of positive cases and working with local health officials to help determine when the masking requirement can be changed. There's a bit of bad news for people heading out to a popular area beach. Officials at Hickory Run State Park announced this morning that Sand Spring Lake is temporarily closed to swimming due to bad water samples. The beach area will remain closed until positive test results come back, and the park is cleared to reopen. A national campaign will be underway this Labor Day weekend to prevent people from drinking and driving. WYLN's Julie Stefanovich has advice from authorities on the dangers of driving impaired.
Don't drink and drive. That's the message from State Police, PennDOT, and the Pennsylvania DUI Association. The last summer holiday is upon us, and officials urge motorists to celebrate responsibly for the Labor Day weekend.
Before the celebration begins, PennDOT is reminding motorists, drive sober or get pulled over.
Impaired driving enforcement goes beyond checking for alcohol impairment.
Law enforcement also work to identify motorists impaired by illegal drugs and prescription medication or some combination of these. Impairment is impairment. Always read your prescription drug labels and do not drive if your medication instructs you not to.
All of the agencies involved gathered yesterday in the DUI Victims Garden in Harrisburg. It was dedicated back in 2003 to remember Pennsylvanians who were killed in drunk driving accidents, including Kelly Donlan's nephew. She now encourages drivers to think about alternatives to impaired driving.
Try to be smarter with your choices. There's Uber, there's Lyft, there's family. There's really no excuse for driving impaired. And it makes your choice now makes my memories, or I have to go visit my boy at a cemetery.
State police and other law enforcement agencies will be conducting impaired driving enforcement details as part of the national campaign that runs through September 6th.
We want you to enjoy the holiday. We just ask that you do it safely. Please have a plan in place. DUI is a serious crime, but thankfully it's 100% preventable.
So if you plan on hitting the road for the upcoming holiday weekend, remember to buckle up, slow down, and don't drive impaired. Reporting for WYLN News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
Thank you, Julie. Coming up on WYLN News, a little something for all our local sports fans out there, plus a field of dreams and a Hollywood ending. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kits. We'll be right back.
My name is Charlie. I am 8, and the forecast for tomorrow is sunny.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information.
Hey guys, this is Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazleton. We've got 3 locations now. We have 2 locations over on Airport Road with a huge selection of used cars, over 220 used cars on the ground. And at our Mazda location on Airport Road, we got a bunch of pre-owned cars.
They're all clean and ready to go.
So with over 200 cars on the ground in the Greater Hazleton area and over 2,000 online at blazealexander.com, make sure when you're in the market, you check us out and find out where we have the cars to take the deals those other guys don't.
Local sports fans, we're kicking off the 2021 high school football season with tonight's season premiere of Sports Talk. Tune in tonight at 7 for host Marty Burns' Game of the Week discussions with Hazleton area head coach Dennis Bookman. Tonight's episode features a sneak peek of the 2021 team and what's to come when the Cougars battle the Warriors in their home opener against Wyoming area Friday night. You can catch the replays Thursday night at 6 and 8, Friday at 1:30 and 6, and both Saturday and Sunday at 12:30. So check back tonight at 7 for the season premiere of Sports Talk, right here on WYLN TV. And although we're unable to bring you any live coverage from Harmon Geist this year due to the school board's vote against our contract, our WYLN sports crew is gearing up regardless to bring you game number 1 of our 2021 high school football season schedule. We kick off with some live Comets Millionaires action this Friday, August 27th, when we travel to Mountaintop for Crestwood's home opener against Williamsport. Tune in for your Friday night fill of Marty Burns, Joe DeMelfi, and our WYLN sports crew, bringing you the event, not just the highlights. Sponsored by Lehigh Valley Health Network, your orthopedics and sports medicine partner. No plans Friday night? No problem. Got some? Well, cancel them. Instead, tune in for your weekly dose of Friday night football and all the live local action right here on WYLN TV. WYLN's all-time OT hero Marty Burns has the in-depth analysis of what's happening on and off-season across our viewing area. So, let's talk sports.
Welcome to Let's Talk Sports, brought to you by Blaze Alexander Family Dealership, Hazleton. On August 12th, Major League Baseball tried to go back to Hollywood as they had their Field of Dream games in Iowa on the set of Field of Dreams. It wasn't played on the same field because of the way they have it set up as a museum type, but they built the field on the other side of the cornfields. Brought in Kevin Costner, who led the White Sox and Yankees through those cornfields out onto the playing field. And then a Hollywood ending, as it was 7-4 heading to the ninth, but the Yankees get two two-run home runs from Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton to take an 8-7 lead. But Tim Anderson with a Hollywood ending, a two-run walk-off home run in the ninth to give the White Sox the win in the Field of Dream games 9-8. And it harkens back to 1988, Game 1 of the World Series between Oakland and the Dodgers. Jose Canseco had hit a grand slam in the second inning. Oakland was holding on to a 4-3 lead with their all-world closer, Dennis Eckersley, in the game. And the question all night long, would they see Kirk Gibson for the Dodgers? Gibson, who was the heart and soul leader of that team, ended up being National League MVP for the Dodgers that year, but had gotten hurt in their National League Championship Series with the Mets. They weren't sure if he was going to play. The cameras were focused on him in the dugout. Then he disappeared. Bob Costas said he wasn't going to play, and as later story said, Gibson got upset and said that he heard Costas' report and said he was going to play, started hitting in the cages underneath Dodger Stadium, apparently sent a note up to Tommy Lasorda and said, "I'm here if you need me." And NBC even hearkened back to the other great Hollywood movie, The Natural, where Roy Hobbs in the one-game playoff, would he come out of the hospital to play? And if he did, how well would he play? And Roy Hobbs hit a home run in the ninth to win it for the New York Knights. And then, hearken to 1988 reality, Kirk Gibson hobbles his way to the plate and on a 3-2 pitch from Eckersley hits a home run that gives the Dodgers the win 5-4, propels them to a 1988 World Series championship, the last for Tommy Lasorda, and that would be the only appearance in that World Series by Gibson, but another case of Hollywood ending in the game of baseball. And now we send it over to WYLN's leading lady, Miss Julia Wiegand.
Thank you, Marty. Coming up on Tresco's News Choice, 3 cheers to 40 years of Medevac on this Wellness Wednesday in Community and You. Plus, Leading the Way, Part 3. Stay with us.
Nestled in the center of the Butler Valley, Zanolini Nursery is the home to the 20th annual Keystone State Hot and Stinky Garlic and Herb Festival. The Keystone State Hot and Stinky Garlic Festival features Northeast garlic farmers and garlic-inspired foods. Garlic is nature's way of social distancing and has many health benefits. So visit Zanolini Nursery in Drum Saturday and Sunday, August 28th and 29th, where you can find all of this wonderful garlic and more. It's a stinking good time. Fresh from the Farm, brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network. In life, we have many kinds of partners. Shouldn't you have a partner when it comes to your health? Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner. SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Renai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Chura's Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in 610 North Broad Street, West Hazelton, 570-454-7229.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
It's high school football time. Watch WYLN for all the local high school football action as we bring you the event, not just the highlights, like only WYLN can. The Game in a Week on WYLN TV is sponsored by Lehigh Valley Health Network, your orthopedics and sports medicine partner. For the best in local sports, watch WYLN TV 35, the event, not just the highlights.
Welcome to Community and You here on WYLN. I'm Julia Wiegand, and if you haven't checked your calendar, today is Wellness Wednesday, thanks to our friends over at Lehigh Valley Health Network. Speaking of, today we are in studio with representatives from Medevac because we are celebrating 4 decades of Medevac. Today we are talking to Brian Evans and Keith McCucci. How are you two doing?
Doing great. Thanks for asking. Thanks for having us.
Now, I guess we'll start off the segment with a little bit of background and history of how Medevac came to be and what kind of services Medevac provides.
Yeah, we're celebrating 40 years of service. We started in 1981 in conjunction with the Lehigh Valley Hospital Cedar Crest, which at the time was known as ASH, and their accreditation as a Level 1 Trauma Center. And it was really a vision of, at the time, one of our trauma surgeons, Dr. Michael Rhodes, who had studied in the shock trauma Baltimore region. And when he came to the Lehigh Valley, he wanted to bring the service of aeromedical to the region. And so it was a vision of his. And from there, they set out on a year journey, started primarily with interfacility transports. And since that time, our program has really evolved. And today we're 4 programs, 4 helicopters, stationed across a vast coverage area. And our job is to expedite transport either from the scene of an accident or a hospital to tertiary or quaternary care. It's been quite a journey for the program. There's been a lot of expansion as healthcare has evolved, so has aeromedical. To date, we've done close to 76,000 transports. And again, the portfolio of our patients that we transfer has changed. We started, like I said, with interfacility transports, then quickly went to on scenes where we provided trauma patients access to trauma care. And today we do, a vast majority of what we do, about 65% of our business is interfacility transports again.
And we'll take the time right now to talk about the Medevac team members that make it all happen and what kind of education and training is needed to become part of that team.
You know, we talk a lot about our Medevac helicopters. That's what started in 1981. We also have our Medevac ambulances that started in about 2013. So on the helicopter side, the primary team that people are used to seeing is composed of obviously a pilot that does not necessarily and usually doesn't have any sort of medical background outside of, a lot of them have military service or other things. But their job is really purely focused on the aviation and the safe operation of the helicopter. We want to leave them out of the medical part of it. They just want to focus on flying safely from location to location. The next person on the aircraft is a critical care transport or flight nurse. That nurse usually comes to us with about a minimum of 3 years of experience in either one of the busy emergency departments or intensive care units from various hospitals throughout the region. And then we have a critical care transport or flight paramedic. So it's that 3-person team that everybody is used to seeing. But those are only the 3 people that we see all the time. There are a number of different people and partners behind the scene that are as critical to the mission. So those include our internal dispatchers, as well as dispatchers out at the regional 911 centers that our EMS and fire partners are communicating with when they're requesting a helicopter. And then our mechanics are a vital part. We have 2 assigned per helicopter. They're basically there 5 days a week, sometimes even more than that, just doing a lot of preventative maintenance inspections to make sure that we are always ready at a moment's notice. Our pilots and mechanics are in partnership with Air Methods, which is one of the largest companies in the nation that provides helicopter EMS services. On the ground side, we again have our same team of a paramedic and a nurse. And then the pilot is swapped for an emergency medical technician driver who's responsible, much like the pilot, for the safe transport in between, and then has some other duties on the ground helping us with patient care. So we have 5 locations in total. Our ground ambulances that basically exclusively do interfacility transport of patients between facilities are based in the Allentown area. And then our current 4 helicopter bases are in East Stroudsburg, Pottsville, Kutztown, and of course locally over at the Hazleton Municipal Airport.
Now, 40 years has come a long way. My question that I've always wondered was, how does this team navigate through bad weather scenarios? I mean, it is a helicopter after all. So winter storms, thunderstorms, how does that all work?
So essentially any of those things, winter precipitation and thunderstorms, don't mix with aviation, specifically with helicopters. So we are generally grounded during those times. One thing that's changed a lot over the years from the beginning is even though we're grounded and we can't fly, that doesn't mean that we're not still available to the community and to our hospital partners. So even in those times of winter storms, thunderstorms, heavy rain, low cloud cover, all those types of things, our crews remain at our bases. And generally, we have partnership agreements with local ambulance companies where they will send us an EMT driver or a paramedic and an ambulance. Our crew will join them with our equipment, and then we're able to perform our missions.
Now, if there's one thing that you two gentlemen want our viewers and our audience right now to really understand about medevac and what medevac is all about, what comes to mind?
I think for me, the biggest thing is partnership. Again, we are the face of a lot of things. It's when you are in a large helicopter with medevac on it, or one of our ambulances, our flight crews in their very distinctive black flight suits, you're very noticeable. But there are so many other folks involved. We only exist because they begin care and they call us, and we're able to link those patients with where they ultimately need to go if that care is not available close to home in their community. So our hats go off. We're forever indebted and grateful for all those partnerships that we have all throughout the region.
And Julie, I think from my standpoint, I think it's the teamwork. You know, healthcare is not built on one person or even a couple people, but it's a team of people. And so, like Brian mentioned, medevac is just a portion of a larger cog in the healthcare world. So it's watching that harmony day in and day out as we take care of, critically ill and injured patients. So whether that's on the ground and our ground providers, as he mentioned, our emergency department staff, our ICU staff, or wherever, it's that teamwork of working at the top of our game and skill level to safely and effectively move patients when necessary.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us today to celebrate 4 decades of medevac.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you, everybody watching out there, for joining us on this Wellness Wednesday in Community and You. We'll see you next time here on WYLN.
Sacco Chiropractic, East Broad Street in Hazleton, has the healthcare you've been waiting for. Whether it's a chronic issue or something new, Sacco Chiropractic has the most up-to-date techniques and therapies to help with any ailment. From his days of playing football with the Cougars and then in college, Dr. Scott Sacco has an elite understanding of sports injuries and how to correct them. Whether you are an athlete, a weekend warrior, or a grandmother, we can help with multiple issues. Call today to see why relief is super. Man, 570-497-4150.
2020, it was certainly challenging, but now there's light at the end of the tunnel, and that light is certainly bright. Enjoy our world-renowned water parks, classic resorts, breathtaking views, fabulous food. 2021 has arrived. We are back better than ever. Let's enjoy it. Find your enjoyment waiting at PoconoMountains.com.
When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
Membership opportunities are now available at the Valley Country Club, 79 Country Club Lane in Sugarloaf. Clubhouse upgrades are in progress and will be ready for the spring. Call Frank Radis for details at 570-233-5328.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice, everyday low prices,
plus interest-free financing
for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton. Everything to make your house a home.
WYLN CA35's children's programming is designed with the specific purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children. In compliance with FCC guidelines, a copy of the children's programming report is on file for public inspection at WYLN 1057 East 10th Street in Hazleton, Pennsylvania during normal business hours. To view the report online, visit fcc.org.
WYLN's going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Mike Camisa is leading the way again into part 3 of this week's series.
And welcome back to this week's Leading the Way with Mike Camisa. So for those who may not understand what your role is at ICS, could you go a little bit in depth about what you do for the school?
Sure. Well, let's start with what ICS is. Emmanuel Christian School. It is what I'd like to say the private school for those who can't afford private school. We have 70% of low-income students, and over half of our students are actually Latino. So we're very reflective of the community that we serve. And my job is to go out into the business community, kind of network, and raise some funds for low-income families to attend our school. So we've got this tax credit program, the Education Improvement Tax Credit Program in Pennsylvania, where businesses and individuals who make large amounts of money can redirect their taxes to the school for scholarships instead of sending it to Governor Wolf in the state of Pennsylvania. So that's primarily what I do. In addition, I do a little bit of IT support, just because I'm the youngest guy there, and some facilities work, but mostly networking, community outreach, and development.
And how's it felt being in that kind of role, that position?
I absolutely love it. Never in a million years did I think I would work for a private K-12 school. But like I said, we're not your typical private school. I came from public education. I loved it, but it's extremely rewarding when you get to help these young kids who, maybe weren't successful at the public school, but really find their home and succeed and to grow and eventually go off and be successful. So I'm extremely proud to be with Emmanuel Christian. I love the work and I love what we do.
All right, folks. Check back tomorrow night as Mike continues leading the way into part 4 of this week's segment. Good night.
And that's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page, YouTube page, or at WYLNTV.com. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.